Hello and welcome back to Easy English with James. Today we're going to have a look at the letter E. This is a special letter because it's the most common letter in all of English, and there are more ways to pronounce the letter E than there are ways to pronounce any other letter in English. So if you want to know exactly how to pronounce this letter and you want to master your pronunciation, stick with me as we learn all about the letter E. Okay, so the letter E. It's a vowel letter. The vowels in English are A, E, I, O, and U. The letter E is the second vowel letter in English after the letter A. If you want to learn more about the letter A, check out my video up here. Okay? The letter E is a vowel letter that is actually the most common letter in all of English. So it's super important. Maybe the most important letter for you to learn. Actually, in English, 13 or 14%, between 13 and 14% of all English writing is just the letter E. That means if you read a book or a newspaper, 13% of the letters is just the letter E. Okay, it's the letter E is everywhere. Nearly every word in English contains a letter E. Okay, it's really, really important. So, how many ways do you think there are to pronounce this letter? Have a think, and today we're going to go through all of those different ways, and I'll give you advice on your pronunciation. We'll talk about some vocabulary that you can use, some really long words, some crazy words. And hopefully by the end of this lesson, you'll know all of the different ways to pronounce this, and we'll have a little test at the end. Okay, so let's start with number one. Okay, so number one, nice and easy to start with. The letter E obviously can be pronounced E. This is how it is pronounced in the alphabet. A, B, C, D, E. E. We make this sound, watch closely, E. E. Your lips widen a little bit and your tongue sort of hovers. E. 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 Sometimes people call this the long E, but don't always use that because it doesn't have to be very, very long. It can be E, 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 okay? But the important thing is that your mouth gets wide. E, E, E. We find this in really common words. It's very important because it's found in super common words like he or she or we or me, and also the verb to be. Okay, practice with me. He, she, we, me, and to be, to be. Okay, if you want to practice that better or faster, try going through all of them. He, she, we, me, be. He, she, we, me, be. He, she, we, me, be. Okay, and you'll get that sound really, really natural. Really, really natural. Okay, we can also pronounce the letter E as E in words where it is a stressed syllable. So take a look at the word female. Female. Okay, female. The stressed syllable is the first part of that word, fee. And you can see the letter E there, that's the stressed part, E. So often in many words in English, when the E is the stressed part, we pronounce it E. Take a look at evening, 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 okay? And female. And even secret, secret, okay? Female. Secret, evening. In those words, one syllable is stressed. The syllable with the letter E at the beginning is stressed, so we pronounce it E. Be careful because there are many exceptions to this rule, but in many words, when the E is stressed, we pronounce it E. Okay? You'll also find this pronunciation of the letter E in words like Chinese or Vietnamese or Japanese, okay? E-S-E, any word with E-S-E, that E-S-E is pronounced ease, ease, okay? This is because of something called magic E. Don't worry, magic E we're going to look at the end of today's lesson. But for now, look at words like theme and scene. You can also see they have E, then a consonant, and then another E. That final E is called magic E. Okay? And that's one of the reasons why we pronounce these E. Japanese, Chinese, okay? Vietnamese, and theme and scene. Okay? Practice those words. We also pronounce the letter E as E in Greek words. That means words in English that come from the ancient Greek language. Okay? Words like Hercules, you know the really famous strongman? Hercules, Hercules, okay? But also plurals of Greek words. So the single word oasis, if you change that to the plural, which means many of, you just add es, oases. Same with crisis becomes crises, and thesis becomes theses, okay? That es on the end of words here is always pronounced ease, because they're taken from Greek, okay? So practice Hercules, Hercules, and theses, and crises, and oases. Also, we often pronounce the letter E as E in words where it appears next to an A. So the letters EA together. If you look at words like jeans, jeans, or meat, 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 or even teacher, 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 teach, okay, and reach. That EA here together is pronounced as the E, E, okay? So practice with me. Teacher, teach, jeans, a nice pair of jeans, and meat, meat, okay? This is the same when we have two letter E's together, E, E, in words like free. Everybody loves free stuff, right? Free. And agree, agree. And the animal, bee, okay? Bzz, the buzzing bee. Bee, agree, and free. So when you see words with two E's together, it's normally pronounced long E sound. E, agree, be, and free. Sometimes when you see the letters E and I together, E and then I, in words like protein, protein, ceiling, ceiling, and receipt, receipt, okay? When you go to buy something, you will get a receipt. The E before the I is sometimes, not always, be careful because there are many exceptions, sometimes E before I is also pronounced E in English. E. The best way to learn this is to listen to each new word, okay? Ask a native speaker or look up on an online dictionary for the sound of each word when you learn it. So you know, is this EI pronounced E or not? Okay? So, protein, ceiling, and receipt. Receipt. Okay? Also, we can turn it around. Instead of the E before the I, we can put the I before the E. And that combination of letters is also pronounced E in words like peace, peace, and briefcase. Briefcase. When you go to work, you carry a briefcase. Also, in the word believe, believe, you'll see the final syllable there, leave, is I-E-V. So I-E-V-E. Believe, believe. Okay? So, E before I can be pronounced sometimes E, and also I before E can sometimes be pronounced E too. Okay? Believe, peace, and briefcase. Finally, there are some special words in English where E is at the end of the word and it's pronounced E. Usually, they're words that are borrowed from other languages, especially Japanese. So words like karate, karate, or karaoke, karaoke, both of those end in E, but they're borrowed from another language. So we put the E at the end as a E, E sound, okay? Practice again. Karaoke, karaoke, and karate, karate. Okay, so let's try some practice sentences with this pronunciation of the letter E. She is free to believe there is a bee on the ceiling. She is free to believe there is a bee on the ceiling. Practice with me. She is free to believe there is a bee on the ceiling. Your turn. Okay, she is free to believe there is a bee on the ceiling. You'll see all of the different spellings in that sentence. And hopefully, the more you practice that sentence, you'll be able to get a good feel for when we pronounce the letter E as E. Okay? You can also try this sentence. We see Chinese jeans on the beach. We see Chinese jeans on the beach. Okay, practice with me. We see Chinese jeans on the beach. Your turn. Okay, well done. Let's have a look at the next way that we can pronounce this letter. Okay, the next way that we can pronounce the letter E in English is as an E. 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 Watch closely, my jaw goes down. E. 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 You'll know this from words like egg. Okay, this one is really simple to remember. The letter E is pronounced E very often in words that end in the letter E and then a consonant. So look at the word get. You've got the letter E and then a consonant. The word met or bet or set, or even longer words like hotel, hotel. They all have the letter E followed by a consonant at the end of a word, okay? There are exceptions to this rule too, of course, in English, but a good rule to remember is that if you see the letter E followed by a consonant and it's at the end of a word, especially short words like bet, met, set, and let, it's usually pronounced E, 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 okay? Practice with me. Hotel, hotel, get, get, set, set, and met, met. Okay, well done. You'll also see the letter E pronounced E in words where you see the letter E followed by a consonant and then another vowel. So look at the word exit, exit. You've got the letter E, then you've got a consonant, X, and then you've got another vowel, I, okay? Exit. Look at the word never, or ever, or level, okay? All of these words have the letter E followed by a consonant, followed by another vowel. Sometimes it's another E, like in never, or ever, or level, okay? When you see that, often in English it's pronounced never, level, okay? Ever. Well done. Also, you'll find this in words where the letter E is followed by TH, okay? Things like weather, as in whether it rains or not, okay? And together, together. They both have the letter E followed by TH, together, weather, okay? Often in words like that, the letter E is pronounced E. Other exceptions where we also pronounce the letter E as E are words like else, else, and center, okay? Both of these have that E pronunciation. Also, the letter E can be pronounced E in words with EA again. Remember before EA was pronounced E? Well, in English, EA can also be pronounced E, okay? So EA in words like dead, dead, or bread, or breakfast, okay? In dead, you can see the letter E followed by the letter A. Again, EA. But this time, it's not pronounced E. This time, it's pronounced E. There's a really good example of this with the word read. Read in the present tense is I read a book. But in the past, it's I read a book. But the spelling is exactly the same. I know, English can be a little bit crazy sometimes, but I read in the present and I read in the past. So EA can be pronounced E or E. And in many, many cases, EA is pronounced E. Try these words. Weather, weather. Head, head, dead, and breakfast, breakfast. Practice with me. Weather, weather, head, head, dead, dead, and breakfast, breakfast. All have that eh pronunciation. Try these practice sentences with the letter E as eh. Every hotel breakfast I have in bed. Every hotel breakfast I have in bed. Okay? Lots of words with eh, with the letter E pronounced eh. One more time. Every hotel breakfast I have in bed. Okay? Let's look at the next one. Number 2 is get to the exit or else you'll be dead. Get to the exit or else you'll be dead. Okay? Get to the exit or else you'll be dead. Number 3 is the bread gets wet in bad weather. The bread gets wet in bad weather. Try and say this one as fast as you can. The bread gets wet in bad weather. The bread gets wet in bad weather, and you'll get a really good feel for that sound, okay? Practice with me. The bread gets wet in bad weather, okay? The next way, number 3, the third way that we can pronounce the letter E in English is okay? It's a really relaxed sound. We start with our mouth in the same position that you make the schwa sound in English, the But this time we make it a little bit longer. Make sure you're vibrating your vocal cords. Imagine it's trying to continually push that sound out of your mouth. Not but okay? Okay? We pronounce the letter E as in really common words like her and were and person, okay? You'll notice that E and R together, E and R in her or were or person or even verb. The E and the R together usually means that that is pronounced So if you see a word with ER like refer, you see the ER and you know it's pronounced Practice with me. Person, person, verb, verb, her, and were. Well done. Also, in words where you see the letters E, A, and R together, you'll love this. EA can be pronounced in so many ways in English. This time, E, A, and R together is pronounced So in words like Earth, we all live on planet Earth. Earth. EAR here is pronounced So if EAR is pronounced then words like learn, learn, and early, early, okay? Early, early. Also words like search, search, okay? EAR is often pronounced Practice with me. Earth, earth. Make sure you get that TH sound at the end of the word earth, earth. Then search, search, search. And then learn, learn. And early, early. There are also some loan words from French that have really weird spellings in English. So words that are a little bit longer that you see ending in EUR. They're not common words in English. They're very rare. But these are words that English has borrowed from French. Words like saboteur, saboteur. And you can see that T-E-U-R, ter, is pronounced ter with that sound. So EU here is pronounced saboteur. Other words like this are connoisseur, connoisseur. You can be a connoisseur of wine, a connoisseur of wine. And one of my favorite words in English, because it's really difficult to pronounce, is entrepreneur, entrepreneur, okay? Entrepreneur, entrepreneur, okay? What does entrepreneur mean? Write that in the comments below if you know the answer. What is an entrepreneur? Okay? But remember, EUR on the end of those words is also pronounced in English. E equals Practice this sentence with me to practice that pronunciation of the letter E. Her search of the earth for the perfect person. Her search of the earth for the perfect person. Okay? Her, got that ER, search, EAR, earth, EA again, and perfect person. Her search of the earth for the perfect person. Practice with me, her search of the earth for the perfect person. Your turn. Okay? Number 2, the saboteur learned the verbs early. The saboteur learned the verbs early. The saboteur learned the verbs early. Okay? Practice that one as fast as you can. The saboteur learned the verbs early. And you'll really get a feel for, again, the EA, the EU, and also those ER combinations that make us pronounce the letter E as Okay, well done. Let's move on to the next way to pronounce the letter E. Okay, number 4, the fourth way we can pronounce the letter E in English is as ear, ear, ear. Okay, this is a diphthong sound, a diphthong vowel sound. If you want to know all about the diphthongs in English, check out my video up here. The sound ear, the vowel sound ear, is a way that we can pronounce the letter E, and it's very common in English. Usually, again, when you see E and A together, okay, in words like here and near and fear. Here, near and fear. Now, very quickly, remember, E-a is a diphthong. That means we slide from one vowel sound into the other. We start with E and we slide into ear, ear. It's one vowel sound, not two. We don't say E-a. It's one sound that we slide. That's why we call it a diphthong. Ear. Practice these words. Near, fear, year, here, and really, really. Okay? So it's very common again in words with E and A. Idea, idea, really, here, near, fear. Okay? With EA it's really common. But you can also see the letter E pronounced ear in words with two E's, like beer, or career, or engineer, engineer. Also, when you say cheers to someone, cheers. This is especially true in the British English accent, where we say cheers, cheers, okay? And engineer, engineer. But make sure that you're getting that diphthong slide. Engineer, engineer. Beer. Beer is a really good one to practice this because it has two, it's a short word with two E's, but you'll hear the ear, ear, beer, beer, and career. Okay? You'll also find this in words with E followed by the letter R. E and R together can sometimes be pronounced with the diphthong ear. So look at words like Algeria, Algeria. It's not Algeria, and it's not the long E either. We don't say Algeria, we say Algeria. And hero, hero, okay? Especially strong in British English. Hero, hero. Words like serious, serious, okay? And era, era. Practice with me. Algeria, Algeria, hero, hero, serious, serious, and era, era, okay? Era, that's a cool word. Some words where the E comes before the I again can be pronounced with this diphthong sound. Words like weird, weird, where you've got EI and it's pronounced ear, weird, weird, okay? Also in words with EO, like theory, theory, okay? These are exceptions. They're exceptional rules here, so don't worry, they're not very common, but you should learn them. Sometimes EO is ear, theory, okay? And EI in weird, weird. Also, again, with that magic E that we talked about before, please don't worry, we will explain magic E properly at the end. In words like atmosphere, atmosphere, or really simple words first, like here, here, you have E-R-E. But if you take that E away at the end and throw it away, you just have her. So H-E-R, her, with that sound that we learned before. But H-E-R-E, here. So you can see the magic E at the end changes the first vowel sound from in her to ear in here. Okay, that is the power of magic E. Okay, here, atmosphere, atmosphere, and severe, severe. Okay, practice with me. Here, here, atmosphere, atmosphere, and severe, severe. Practice this sentence to practice this pronunciation. It's a really bad idea to drink beer here. That's a tough one. It's a really bad idea to drink beer here. It's a really bad idea to drink beer here. Okay? It's a really bad idea to drink beer here. Really cool sentence. Okay? Practice that one as fast as you can until you get a feel for that ear, ear, ear sound. Number 2, his idea of a really serious career is an engineer in a theatre. His idea of a really serious career is an engineer in a theatre. Okay? Practice that one too as many times as you need, and I promise that sound will get really easy. Okay, let's move on to the next way to pronounce the letter E in English. Okay, the 5th way that we can pronounce the letter E in English is as the short vowel sound I, I, I. Okay? Be careful, don't get this sound confused with the longer E sound. E and I. Okay? If you want some help with the difference between those two sounds, check out my video up here, I versus E. Okay? I is a short vowel sound. Watch closely. I, I. It's the same sound in words like tin and bin, okay? It's a really short I sound. But here, in English, we can sometimes pronounce the letter E as an I. You know this because you're studying English. English. In the word English, the letter E is pronounced I. In the word England, where I'm from, also in the word pretty, pretty, you'll find it sometimes, but not always, where the syllable is stressed, where that E is stressed. England, English, and pretty, okay? In some words where you stress that E, we pronounce it as the short I sound. Practice with me. English, England, and pretty, pretty. Don't say England or pretty. That sounds really silly in English, but pretty, English, and England, okay? You'll also find the letter E pronounced I in words that have 2 or more syllables, but the I syllable is unstressed. The syllable with the letter E is not stressed. So look at words like defend, defend, and that word believe again, believe. The first E there is not stressed. Believe, believe, okay? The leave is stressed, so believe. That means that the first E we pronounce I. Respect, believe, defend, okay? Practice with me. Respect, respect, relieve, relieve, receive, receive, and believe, believe. And finally, defend, defend. You'll see that letter E at the beginning again is unstressed. So we pronounce it I, defend, respect, relieve. Okay? Here's some special words that you should also practice because they're very common and they also have the letter E pronounced I. Try these words. Emotion, emotion, okay? And enough, very common word, enough. I've had enough. I have enough of this, okay? Enough, enough. And result, 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 okay? Also the word 11, the number 11. We're going to look at the number 11 later because there's lots of letter E's in that word. But in the word 11, the first E is pronounced I. 11. We don't say 11 or 11. We say 11. 11. Okay? Okay, also the letter E can be pronounced I in past tense regular verbs that end in T or D. So past tense verbs that end in T or D, like wanted or needed or loaded, okay? You'll notice that it finishes in a D or a T. Want is the T and need for the D. So in the past, we add ed and we pronounce that E as I. Needed, wanted, loaded, hated. Okay, practice with me. Needed, wanted, loaded, hated. Okay, needed, wanted, loaded, hated. Again, remember that ed here is pronounced id with that short I sound. Okay, a practice sentence for this one is, I believe he wanted to defend England. I believe he wanted to defend England. Really good sentence to practice that short I sound here as the letter E. I believe he wanted to defend England. Okay, I believe he wanted to defend England. Now try this one. 11 pretty English women. 11 pretty English women. It's difficult because there's lots of letter E's in there, but we're going to focus on just the E's pronounced I. So 11 pretty English women. Okay, women is also pronounced with that I again. 11 pretty English women. 11 pretty English women. Say that as fast as you can. 11 pretty English women. And the faster you can say that, the easier this sound will become. So practice as much as you need to. Okay, let's move on. Okay, the letter E can also be pronounced as a schwa sound. The schwa sound is It's really relaxed, and in English the schwa sound is never stressed. That means it's never a part of a sentence that we stress. It's always unstressed. If you want to know all about the schwa sound, I have a really long lesson up here that you can watch to learn and master the schwa sound. But today, remember, the letter E is very often pronounced as a schwa sound, okay? In words like happen or open or often, okay? The E and the N there is pronounced with a schwa. So the letter E here is So you'll find this in words that end in en, like open and often and happen. Open, often, and happen. You'll also find this very often in words that end in ent, like parent, or moment, or present, or accident. Okay, parent, moment, present, and accident. All of them end in ent, and it's unstressed. So we pronounce that letter E as parent, accident, or president, the president of the United States, president. Okay, practice that. Parent, moment, president, and accident. Okay, well done. Okay, but the most important time that you should remember to pronounce the letter E as a schwa, as a sound, is in the word the. Okay, the man, the boy, the girl, the car. It's super important because that word the is said really quickly, really fast. The. And that's because we're using the schwa. The man, the boy, the car, the girl. Okay? The. So remember that most of the time in English, when you see the, it is pronounced the. The only time it's not is when the next word starts with a vowel. So in the boy, the next word boy starts with B, a consonant. But if we say apple, it's not the apple, it's the apple. The apple. So it's very important that we look at the word the as having two different E pronunciations. It can be or it can be E, that long E sound. The boy, but the apple, okay? Because apple starts with a vowel. So orange, what would that be? Orange, that starts with a vowel. So we would say the orange. But what about house? House, that starts with a consonant, the house. The house. Okay, so remember, the man, the boy, but the apple and the orange. Okay? Okay, so can you write two more examples of that in the comments? Can you give me one example of the and one example of the, just so I know that you've learned it. Okay? For now, I want you to remember that the E in the can be E or the schwa sound. Okay? Very, very important. Try this practice sentence. The president's accent is often a problem. The president's accent is often a problem. How many sounds are in that sentence? The president's accent is often a problem. Can you write in the comments how many schwa sounds are in that sentence? How many times can you see the letter E in there where it's pronounced The president's accent is often a problem. Okay, let's see who can get that one right. Number 2, the parents were in the recent accident. The parents were in the recent accident. Okay, practice with me. The parents were in the recent accident. Okay? Okay, let's move on to the next sound. But before we do that, I want to ask you, if you're enjoying this lesson, if you're learning something, please hit that like button and subscribe to my channel so that you don't miss any of my future lessons. We still have F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z to go. So there's lots more to come. So make sure that you have subscribed and you've hit that like button if you enjoy this lesson. Okay? Okay. The 7th way that we can pronounce the letter E in English is as the diphthong sound A. 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 You'll often find this sound in words where E and I are together again, like weight and freight. Okay? EI in English is very often pronounced A. Remember, this is a diphthong sound, so we glide one vowel into another, but it's one sound. A. 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 So weight, weight, and freight, freight, and vein, vein, the veins in your arm, or the number 8, 8. Okay, so remember the letter E, EI here can be pronounced A. A. 8, weight, freight, and vein, vein. You'll also find the letter E pronounced as an A in words where the letter E comes together with a Y, in words like they. Also grey, grey. Even in the really common greeting, hey, hey, E is followed by the letter Y, and this in English is pronounced A. So this time the letter E is pronounced A. A. What about words like obey? Obey. Okay, so practice these words with me. Grey, grey. Pray, pray. Obey, obey. Hey, and they. Okay? You'll also find the letter E pronounced A in really rare, exceptional words like pâté and café. Not many words look like this in English because in English we don't normally use these accent markers, these little things that go above the letters. They're usually words borrowed from other languages, like French, okay? Pâté and café. But here, that E on the end with the accent marker is always pronounced A, café, and pâté, okay? Try this sentence. There's 8 and they are grey. There is 8 and they are grey, okay? There is 8 and they are grey. Try this one. The grey prey animals obey him. The grey prey animals obey him. The grey prey animals obey him. Okay? Grey, prey, obey. The grey prey animals obey him. And finally, remember that other E with the marker. I bought pâté in the cafe. I bought some pâté in the cafe. Do you like to eat pâté? Okay, most people in England will have pâté on toast for Christmas. Okay, it's really common. Pâté on toast, either for breakfast, usually as part of a Christmas dinner. Pâté on toast. Okay, pâté on bread. Okay, the 8th way that we can pronounce this letter in English, the letter E, can be pronounced I. And this one is super confusing because it's often in words that are spelled the same as words that are pronounced A. We looked at words like eight and wait, but sometimes the EI and especially EIG can be pronounced I. Look at words like height, how tall someone is, height. We don't say hate, we say height. And also slight. Luckily, this is not common. Normally, the pronunciation of EIGHT would be eight, weight, freight, okay? But in some cases, the letter E here can be pronounced I, as in height or slight, okay? Remember, height and slight. You'll also see this in a really common word, I and eyes, okay? One eye, two eyes. Here, the letter E is pronounced I. It's the same sound when you say I am, I do, I am, okay? I. Let's practice all three of those words again. Height, slight, and I. Eyes, okay? Practice this sentence. She is a nice height and she has lovely eyes. She is a nice height and she has lovely eyes. She's a nice height and she has lovely eyes. Okay? Okay, number 9. The 9th way to pronounce the letter E in English is air. It's another diphthong sound, another diphthong vowel sound. Air. Okay? The two sounds glide into each other. Air. Okay? You'll know this from words like there and where. Very common in words with E-R-E. There and where. These are two really common words, so make sure that you pronounce these correctly. They're very commonly mispronounced. Practice them with things like, where is she? She is over there. Where is he? He is over there. Okay? Where and there. Where, there. Where is she? She's over there. Okay? You'll also find the letter E pronounced air in words with EAR again. I said before there are many ways to pronounce EA in English, and here is another one. In the word bear, and pair, and even wear, as in I'm wearing clothes, wearing clothes. Wear with ERE and wear, clothes, are exactly the same in English, okay? They are pronounced identically. That means exactly the same. Wear, ERE, and wear. I'm wearing clothes. So EAR can sometimes be pronounced air in English. Practice with me. Bear, pair, and wear. Try this sentence. I'm wearing nice clothes. I'm wearing nice clothes. Or I like to wear nice clothes. Now try this super sentence. Where should I wear the bear costume? where should I wear the bear costume? Maybe you're going to a party and you're dressing as a bear. Where should I wear the Halloween bear costume? Where should I wear the bear costume? Okay, practice that one. Now try this. Over there? Where? Ah, there. Over there? Where? Ah, over there. Okay, that's a really good one for practicing the intonation in English. Over there? Where? Ah, there. Okay, practice that and try and copy my intonation as well, and you'll really start to sound exactly like native English speakers do when they're speaking the sentence like that. Okay? Number 10 is the letter E pronounced as R. R. Thankfully, I only know one word in English where the letter E is pronounced R, and it is in the word sergeant. Sergeant. Okay? This is the only time I know in English where the letter E is pronounced R. R. Sergeant. Okay, so just remember that one word. Sergeant is somebody in the army. Okay, somebody, it's a rank in the military. Sergeant. Okay, sergeant. Okay, the final way that we can pronounce the letter E in English is we don't pronounce the letter E at all. It's silent, okay? It can be silent, but sometimes with magic E, it can also change the word. So look at past tense verbs like play, stay, and kick or stop. When we put them in the past, played, stayed, kicked, and stopped. They have the letters ED, but we don't pronounce the E. The E is silent, okay? In past tense regular verbs, the ED is pronounced D or T. It does not include the E. We don't say stopped. We say stopped. We don't say played or played. We just say played. Okay, that D or T on the end is good, but we don't use the E letter. The E is silent. The only time the E is not silent is when it's following a T or a D at the end of the original verb. For example, in wanted and needed and loaded, where we pronounce it as I. We learned that before, okay? But in most regular past tense verbs, the E is silent. Practice with me. Kicked, kicked, played, played, stayed, stayed, and stopped, stopped. Okay? Remember, past tense, regular verbs, the E is silent. We don't pronounce the E at all unless it's after T or D, T or D. Okay? Sometimes native speakers, when we're speaking really fast, also like to make a silent E in a word. We like to delete or remove or take away the letter E. So in words like camera, camera, when native English speakers are speaking really fast, we might just say camera, camera, camera. We don't say camera. We just delete that E and say camera. We do this also with words like interest, interest. It should be pronounced interest, interest. But instead, when we're speaking really quickly, we'll just say interest, interest. The same with different. It should be different. But when we're speaking very quickly, we don't have time. We take that letter E and throw it away. We just say different, different. This will really help you to speak more quickly in English. Camera, camera, different, different, and interest, interest. Practice with me. Camera, camera, interest, interest, and different, different. Remember, if you're speaking more slowly, you can pronounce the letter E. Different, interest, and camera. But when you're speaking really quickly outside, you don't need the letter E. Camera, interest, different. Try this sentence. This camera's different. I'm interested. This camera's different. I'm interested. Your turn. This camera's different. I'm interested. Okay? Also, we find silent E in words where the E is after a V. So in words like movement, movement, and improvement, that E in the middle is completely silent. It's move with the V and then ment, movement. Likewise, improvement, improvement. Okay? Finally, we also find silent E in something, someone, somewhere, and somehow. Okay? Any word where you have some and then another word and we combine them together, somewhere, somehow, someone, something, that E is silent. Okay? Practice with me. Somewhere, somehow, someone, something, somewhere, somehow, someone, something. Okay? The letter E there is completely silent. So whenever you see some and then another word combined with it, someone, somewhere, something, somehow, you'll notice the letter E is silent. Okay? Okay, now magic E. Magic E is special. It's silent, but it still has power. Magic E can change the pronunciation of the other parts of a word. Let's have a look. Look at the word car. Car. C-A-R. But if we put magic E on the end, we don't have cara. We have care. Care. So magic E is silent, but it changes the A from R to air. It goes from car with no magic E to care with a magic E. Look at the word her. Her. If you have H-E-R, her, you can hear that sound that we learned before. But if you add magic E, it changes the word to here. Her, here. Her, here. Okay, that is the power of magic E. It goes on the end of a word and it changes the pronunciation of the word. But it's still silent. It's like it's invisible, but it has the power to change things. Car becomes care. Her becomes here. Okay, pet becomes Pete. Lots of different amazing ways the letter E, the magic E, can change the rest of the word. Okay? Okay, so many times in English, the magic E will change the pronunciation of the first syllable, the first vowel sound, from a simple sound, either short or long vowel sound, to a diphthong. So in words like hop, and then you add magic E and it becomes O, which is a diphthong. Hope. Hope. In car to air. Okay, so we take a short vowel sound and we make it into a diphthong vowel sound. Car, care. Her, here. Okay, we can also use this with things like quit and quite. I, quite. Okay, quit and quite. Hop and hope. Okay, let's try some practice sentences with magic E and you'll get a good feel for when we use it. Number 1, I don't care about my car. I don't care about my car. Okay, you've got care and car. The only difference is that magic E. Care with the diphthong air and car. I don't care about my car. Number 2, her car is not here. Her and here. Her car is not here. Practice with me. Her car is not here. Her car is not here. Number 3, I will quit if it's quite boring. I will quit. You've got quit and quite with the magic E. Quit and quite. I will quit if it's quite boring. You go to a new job and it's really boring. You tell your friends, I will quit. I will leave this job if it's quite boring. Quit and quite. I will quit this job if it's quite boring. Number 4, I hope you hop over to the shop later. I hope you hop over to the shop later. You've got hope and hop. I hope you hop over to the shop later. Hop here means to go. It's a special way that native English speakers use to mean to go. It means to go really quickly. I hope you hop over to the shop later. You might ask someone, can you hop round to the shop for me and get me something? Can you hop round the shop for me and get this? Can you hop round the shop? Okay, it doesn't mean literally to hop on one leg. It just means to go somewhere quickly. I'm hopping to work. I'm hopping there, okay? It means to go really quickly. So practice with me again. I hope you hop to the shop later. I hope you hop to the shop later, okay? Okay, well done. So remember, there are 11 ways that we can pronounce the letter E. Have a look on the screen now and you'll see the different 11 ways that we can pronounce the letter E. Number 1 is the E in we, she and see. Number 2 is the E in bet, head and let. Number 3 is in her and were. Number 4 is ear in hear, near and fear. Number 5 is I in pretty or English. Number 6 is the schwa sound, the in the word the and movement. Number 7 is the A sound in they and ate. And number 8 is the I in eye and height. Number 9, the air in there and bear. Number 10, the R in sergeant. And number 11, the silent E in kicked, or also the magic E in care and movement. Okay, so let's practice some words that have many E's, or some long words with the letter E. Number 1, 11. Everybody knows this. It's a number after 10. 10, 11, okay? 11 has 3 different E sounds, okay? There are 3 ways that we pronounce the letter E in the word 11. You've got I at the beginning, then E in the middle, and then the schwa at the end. 11, 11, 11. So practice that one if you want to practice 3 of the different sounds at the same time. 11, 11, 11, 11, 11, okay? 11. Number 2 is the word expedient. Expedient. Lots of different E pronunciations in there. Expedient. Expedient. Okay? It's a long word. Practice with me. Expedient. Expedient. Expedient means when you do something that is not really proper, probably not right, but it's very convenient. It's a convenient way to do something, okay? Expedient, expedient. Number 3 is exceeded, exceeded. Lots of letter E's in here too, and you've got a double E in the middle. Exceeded, exceeded. You've got E, and I. Exceeded, exceeded. To exceed means to go beyond, to go further than. To exceeded. You'll hear this in the sentence, he exceeded my expectations. That means he was better than I thought he would be. He exceeded my expectations. Exceeded. Exceeded. Number 4, benevolence. This is one of my favourite words in English. Benevolence. You also have benevolent, okay? Benevolence. Benevolence. See if you can tell me what that word means by writing your answer in the comments. Benevolence. Benevolence. Okay? And finally, number 5 is a really long word, defenselessness. 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 How many E's are there in there? How many different ways can you hear to pronounce the letter E? Defenselessness. 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 Okay? Write that in the comments below. Okay, to finish this lesson, we're going to have a super practice sentence. In this sentence are all 11 ways to pronounce the letter E. So this is the sentence you should practice 100 times until you're really, really good at it. Okay? Okay, this is the sentence. Sergeant, there were 11 grey emus here with eyes closed. Sergeant, there were 11 grey emus here with eyes closed. Sergeant, there were 11 grey emus here with eyes closed. Okay, all 11 different ways to pronounce the letter E are in that sentence. Listen one more time. Sergeant, there were 11 grey emus here with eyes closed. Sergeant, there were 11 grey emus here with eyes closed. And here, look, now we can see all 11 of the different sounds, all the different ways to pronounce the letter E. Okay? Sergeant, there were 11 grey emus here with eyes closed. Thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you learned something from this lesson. If you want to learn a little bit more, make sure you hit that like button and subscribe so that you see more of my videos in the future. Okay? You can also see me on Facebook, Instagram, and you can support me now on Ko-Fi. Okay? Have a look in the description box for that. Okay? Thank you again for joining me, and I will see you for the next lesson, which I believe is the letter F. Bye-bye.